So welcome graduates, welcome families and friends and classmates at home. Now I understand why we like to have Mrs. Welkley to play introductory music for walking in. But we don't. But this is still our 49th graduation year. And so you guys are a special class for multiple different reasons. And we're very excited to celebrate your graduation with you tonight. And I appreciate everybody who is connecting at home. And if this storm comes along and cuts out our power, just know that they will still graduate. This is usually where I would ask you all to turn off your cell phones. Please don't turn your cell phones off at home. And you guys have about 20 more minutes where you're still not allowed to have cell phones. After that, it's on you. So we're going to get started with a short chapel, starting by asking the Lord into this event. And then we will present some awards and have a presentation of the diplomas without making physical contact. And then we'll have a parent speaker, and we're going to end with a slideshow that Mrs. Cowley has put together. So welcome, and I invite you, if you're at home, to get ready for a chapel service, and those of you who are in the room, you may rise with me as we open the Word. In the book of Numbers, the Lord told the people of Israel, "The Lord did not set his love on you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any other people, for you were the least of all peoples." Amen. Please be seated. So, graduation and any marker in a person's life causes us to kind of think about what's coming next. And especially at your age, where you're almost kind of still children, but you're also just a couple steps away from adulthood, all the people in your lives are thinking a lot about what's the next part of your life look like? What is that going to be? And everybody who loves you wants it to be easy and pleasant and fun. And as we have learned, not everything is easy or pleasant or fun. But on the one hand, you've already started facing all kinds of troubles. And I imagine that the coronavirus shutdown was not the first struggle you had with your education. But it was another one, and that's what we learn from facing those struggles. But I'm a worrier, and so people I care about, I worry, what's the future going to look like? How hard do they have to try? How perfect do they have to be to make it in life? And how hard is life going to be on them? And so with those worries in mind, I was reflecting this week, thinking about you guys, and thinking about what does the Lord show us in his word? And of course, the word speaks to us on different levels. But thinking of the different characters in the word, all the most famous characters, the best characters in the Bible, people like King David, Noah, Jacob, Samuel, the disciples. These are the good guys in the word, right? These are the people who are trying to do what's right, and as many of us do a lot of the time. We try to do what's right. Were these guys perfect? Absolutely not. They all made mistakes. Even somebody like Samuel, who was really a great guy, apparently wasn't a very good father because his children didn't do well. And Moses, again, who incredible leader, led the people for all those months and years. And I was reading in the book of Numbers, it said, he was very humble, more than all men who were on the face of the earth. So like a great guy. And as you know in the stories, even he got fed up eventually and lost his temper. So perfect isn't human. It's not what the Lord is holding us to. It's not what anybody really achieves. Of course, in the Word, there is one perfect person who gives us the example. But most of us, not so much. So that should be relieving. It doesn't mean we're off the hook for trying, but we're not being held to a perfect standard. And the other question of how hard should we expect life to be? And again, the word gives us some illustrations. Is the word full of easy times? What about for the good people? People who are doing what's right. Do they get blessed with an easy life? Nope, almost the opposite. They have plenty of struggle, plenty of hardships, plenty of challenges, and so in the external world, it doesn't look easy, and I think that reflects our lives too. I would love to say your life is going to be all peaches and cream going forward, and I'm almost sure it won't be. But there are a couple things about that. One is that the Lord does guarantee us a certain kind of blessings. He doesn't guarantee that you're all going to become rich and famous, not that kind. But he does guarantee that when we try sincerely to follow him and do what we believe to be true as we understand it, then he can bless us internally. And that's with a sense of calm and confidence and even the delight that comes from seeing and loving other people because we're committed to following the plan that the Lord has. So even in this world, we are guaranteed blessings of a certain kind. And they may be inside, even when things outside are hard. So I just wanted to end with a couple readings of about that kind of picture that the Lord gives us. We're not perfect, but he is. And so if we orient our life to him, then he can kind of lead us through the storms, whatever they look like. So the book of John, the Gospel of John, or the Good News of John, starts by saying, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." Light being the Lord. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. So it does not say there's no darkness, but the darkness cannot overcome the light. And that's how the book of John begins. That's how the good news in the Gospel of John begins. And it's this point of light in our lives that we can always turn back to wherever we've wandered. So it's this beautiful call by the Lord. And then when he's the story of him teaching and the disciples, he makes it a little more personal. And he says, "I've said these things to you, that in me you may have peace." That in me you may have peace. You can find peace. "In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart," or take courage. "I have overcome the world." So there's very few guarantees in life, but there is this promise that the Lord does overcome the world. The Lord overcomes all of the external hardships, all of the flaws and even evils that we get into. And so if we follow him, then we can take peace because he's giving us peace, this inner peace that can stand up to anything the world can throw at us. So I join all of your parents and families in wishing you a great future, being proud of your achievements so far, and I hope that WNCS has given you things that you can draw on, especially hope that it's helped give you the language and tools to read the Word, see yourself in those stories, and take courage knowing that the Lord can give you peace. Amen. And now I invite you to bow your heads in prayer with me. O Lord, you are my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? You are the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When evildoers assail us to eat up our flesh, our adversaries and foes, it is they who stumble and fall. Though an army encamp against us, our heart shall not fear. Though war arise against us, yet we will be confident. Lord, our Father in heaven, along with the families, teachers, fellow students, and community gathered around these graduates, I pray for your constant care and guidance over these young people as they go out into the next stages of their life, whom we love so much. We know they will face struggles and challenges that this world has to offer, but we turn to you knowing that you have overcome this world and can lead them each to be successful in the ways that truly matter. Amen. Please rise. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you all. Amen. Now you can be seated as I make a couple adjustments here. All right. Well, welcome again. We begin this evening by making a couple awards, just a couple of recognitions of the people in the school community who participate in a way that really inspires and serves the rest of us. So the first award that I am presenting this evening is what we call the Long-Term Service Award. And this is usually for an older member of the community who's been involved in various kinds of service and volunteering for the school, usually for many decades, not even just a couple years. And so tonight, we're presenting the award, and it is an award recognition for this kind of service, but it is also partly a farewell, because the recipients will be moving soon. And so it's a recognition that's well-deserved, but it also includes some sadness, as we wish them Godspeed in their next adventures. So this year, the winner is actually a couple, a married couple, rather than an individual. And they have each contributed individually to the school over many years, but their presence together as a couple and as a symbol of their marriage in the community is also a very positive multiplying effect. This couple has sent 5 children and 1 grandchild to WNCS. And before they sent children, during and afterwards, they have been steady supporters at all levels. The husband has sat on the board numerous times, one of the least favorite volunteer jobs around here. He has worked on the investment committee for years, and through his company, he's provided all manner of materials, marketing materials, signage, first aid, furniture, and recently a bunch of hand sanitizer and gloves and thermometers and other things that we need for battling COVID. So he's been very generous over many years. Another thing that really I appreciate about what he's done is he's hired a lot of graduates for internships or first jobs and helped them get established in their careers. His wife is equally generous with her time, and she especially loves to offer her vision and love of community building. She hosts events, supports the school put on plays, hands out school flyers on street corners. She's taught and substitute taught, and she's organized our spring yard sale for many years, as well as volunteering in almost all the volunteer opportunities I can think of. So on behalf of the Washington New Church School, I offer our warmest and deepest gratitude to Edward and Wyston Simmons. For those of you in the room, here's a picture of Edward and Wyston. It's funny doing so many things with people absent. So also absent, the next award we're presenting is the Teacher Appreciation Award. And this award is presented by the faculty in appreciation for an affirmative attitude, a spirit of cheerful cooperation, and goodwill toward fellow students. And so then we have a teacher write up a fuller description of this particular person, or in this case, this group of students. An unusual group of students. I've been teaching for 28 years and have experienced a wide variety of students and classes. In all of those years, I've only had the pleasure of teaching 2 groups without any discipline issues: the graduating 8th grade and this year's 5th and 6th grades. The current 5th and 6th grades are unusual in 3 distinct ways. First, discipline was not an issue. That is unusual. Second, they were eager to learn. And third, they were always kind to one another. This is the type of class that motivates a teacher to plan in new, inventive ways, and this is the type of class that allows the teacher to use all her energy for the teaching part of the day. When this class was stating preferences for parts in their performance of the Christmas Carol, or the states to research for their state notebooks, they asked me to let them work out the overlaps. They used the phrase, "That's okay, you can have it," if there was any dispute about who got what. When I asked if there was a student I wanted to nominate, when I was asked if there was a student I wanted to nominate for the Teacher Appreciation Award, it was clear to me that no particular student was a standout above the others, rather that they were all standouts. Each and every one of them has earned this award. Congratulations to all on a job well done. So that was written by Mrs. Maxwell for the class of 5th and 6th grade this year. So we're going to have the same problem when we get to the diplomas. We don't have a large crowd here for clapping, so we're going to have to do short, enthusiastic claps. All right, and the third award that I'm going to be, this isn't really an award so much as a recognition that we're presenting this year. This is actually a letter written by the bishop of the church, and it's a recognition for an employee who has completed 25 years of service for the organization. And so I'm going to read this letter, and you will find out which teacher that is. Actually, it begins with her name, so the surprise will be over quickly. Dear Kim, that is Mrs. Maxwell, congratulations on your completion of more than 25 full-time years as a new church educator. The General Church gratefully acknowledges employees who have accomplished 25 years of service to the church with a pendant, and it is my pleasure to make this award with the support of your local pastor and principal, and on behalf of the whole General Church community. You have our sincere and hearty thanks for your dedication to the church for all these years in which you have shared your professional career in this vital use. It is a pleasure to think of the many years in which you have enriched the lives of children and parents. In your application letter to become a senior teacher, which is a position that teachers can apply for, in your application 6 years ago, you reflected especially on your own experience as a student in the new church schools and how you recognized the powerful effect that your teachers had on your development through their commitment to teaching and modeling the ideals of the new church. This vision of the power of the new church, which you saw so long ago in 8th grade, has clearly been a guiding beacon for your professional work since then. Your colleagues palpably recognize the strength of your commitment to the full development of each of your students. Your students and parents appreciate how seriously you take their intellectual and academic growth, and as they continue in your classroom, they perceive the depth of your commitment to helping them establish a moral and religious foundation. You show people what it is to offer excellence in natural education while also keeping it firmly pointed towards its ultimate goal of developing people for heaven. In talking with your colleagues, it is clear that modeling the positive vision of the new church is what you do. You have officially contributed to the development of new church education through your work as a senior teacher, and even when you are not in your official duty as a leader, your commitment and focus on high standards inspires and guides the people in your sphere. Please accept this gift which aims to express the appreciation, respect, gratitude, and love from your community around the Washington New Church School and the church around the world, where the ripples of your contribution extends. And that is from the Bishop, Reverend Peter Buss. All right. So with those recognitions made, we turn our attention to the awarding of diplomas. And as you may imagine, there shall be no handshaking this evening, but we're going to try our best to honor the occasion with suitable dignity. So I'm going to start by asking the homeroom teacher for the 7th and 8th, Mrs. Jana Sprinkle, to come forward. You will receive your gloves. This may be harder than I imagined.
I'm going to take a minute.
Thank you. And the hand sanitizer. All right. So, students, when I call your name, I would invite you to come and receive the honorary squirt of hand sanitizer from your homeroom teacher, and then I will be awarding you your diploma. Our first 8th grader is James Robert Frazier.
All right.
Maybe we need even less.
Don't I get to shake?
No. All right. Congratulations. Good work. Yes.
We're able to walk up to the stage depending on where we are, right? Like if I'm
Yeah.
right here, I can walk up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we recognize Ariella Schuyler Hernandez. Congratulations. And Sophie Evelyn Hyatt with honors. Congratulations. Next, we have Merilyn Acha Morfa with honors. Congratulations. Now, Malik Kiri Muhammad. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Darian Amari Dombe. Congratulations. Let's have one more round of applause. Good job. A lot of work done. Thank you. All right. Next, in order to recognize our 12th grade graduate, we're going to invite Mr. Judah Sinisvet up to the stage. Ask him to don the ceremonial gloves. You might be able to get away with this one.
Is it medium? Small?
They made for smaller hands. All right, and graduating our first graduate of the new high school program. Thank you for your pioneering work, Siobhan Renee Frazier. Congratulations. And I hope that is the last time you receive your diplomas from a burger flipper. But who knows what the future will hold. So next we have the honor and pleasure of hearing from a graduate speaker. So it's our tradition to each year have one of the parents of a graduate speak to us, and it's fairly open what kind of topics they can take up, but it's a chance to listen to somebody who is quite a bit ahead of you in this life and reflecting on some of his experiences. And I'm going to just tell you a couple of them. Most importantly, our parent speaker is married to Emmy Morpha, but he also has several other achievements. He has 4 children. He has a degree in the science of education, and he told me that he graduated from 8th grade in 1987 from a school in Cameroon, Our Lady Seat of Wisdom College. His bachelor's degree from college is from Germany, and of course he spent many years here in the US as an entrepreneur of different kinds, as a tax accountant, as a licensed practicing nurse, and the owner of a group home for the mentally challenged, as well as several other projects and businesses. So I'm very pleased to welcome my friend Nick Morpha.
Thank you, Mr. Principal. It is an honor for me to be here tonight because I've been here for about 8 years, but I never really thought that on a day like this, I'll be the one standing here to address you. And most importantly, at a time like this. Faculty members, parents, friends, unified guests, and graduating class of 2020. Congratulations. I'm trying to learn how to deliver this right, but I will forget that other persons that are not here watching us, or who are watching over the social media, I will forget about them. I will focus on you. And my topic is my little secrets to success. You know, I grew up in a different environment in Cameroon where there were no cars. I didn't have the privilege to attend kindergarten. I started in 1st grade, and we had to walk over 5 kilometers, which is about 3-point-something miles, every day to school and back on foot. There was no bicycle, there were no cars. And then my father was married to over 10 wives, which therefore means that the children that were being born were pretty sometimes close, like twins. Like my elder sister who lives in Chicago. So you see that there will be a problem of tuition down the road. Well, God being so kind, I was able to go through that without any difficulties. Finished elementary school, and I was sent to a boarding school, Our Lady Seat of Wisdom College in Fontaine, where you had to leave your parents at a very early age to go and be there, and you are being taken care of. It was a wonderful life. It gave me a base to start my education journey. Now, when it was time to graduate, something that maybe my own daughters don't even know, I did not graduate. I failed the GCE. It was a national exams. And for some reason, I cannot even tell you exactly what happened that I failed, but I guess because I was focusing on those subjects that I passed, I had all A+ grades. So I spent my time not evenly distributed, and I failed the exams. It was a disaster for me. My world was upside down, and I thought that was the end of it. My mother could not read and write, nor my father could read and write, so they told me it's not the end of the world. And the principal of that school at that time, Jackie Hurst, told me that, I know you can fail all the exams around, you will not fail in life. And that statement troubled me for a long time to understand what he meant. See, there's no virtue in failing or in failures. But when you fail and you can realize where you are, you make mistakes and you can realize where you are, it's a good start for you. Well, at that time, I determined never to fail an examination again. I said I would try to find out what it means to pass an examination. And I did. I never failed exams again. Well, I left there and I went to high school. Our own middle school was a little bit funny because it was 5 years. You had to be around 12 to graduate and go to high school. So I left there and went to high school. I went to Yaoundé University for 1 year, and there was political uprising there, and I had to leave for Germany, where I decided to study science of education so that I could be able to give a lot to younger children. But my wife came and met me and won the United Lottery, Green Card Lottery, which brought us to the United States. I call her my sunshine because she brought me to the greatest nation on earth. We arrived in the United States simply with our 2 suitcases. That was all we brought. But for those of you who know me, you know that I'm a gatherer. We have gathered a lot. Not only material stuff, but also helping other persons to be able to attend some education. Paying tuition for younger brothers, paying tuition for people that are struggling. And that is the core of life, providing service. My little secrets are many. And I'll tell you, it has a prerequisite. That prerequisite, pay attention to me, because this is one of the best things that you could get. And when you are on your ladder, you will find that it will always be easier. I call it secret not because I want to hide anything from you, but because I want you to pay attention to it. And the prerequisite to my success formula is a great foundation. When we arrived in the United States in 1997, we landed in Texas. The place was so flat, I didn't like it. We went to Chicago. The place was just too busy. And then we came to Maryland. It seemed like this is the place to be, and that's why we're here. But one experience that I gathered in Chicago, which I'm going to tell you, is about the foundation. When we visited Chicago, my brother-in-law took us to the Sears Tower. At that time it was called Sears Tower. Now it is called the Willis Towers. When we got into the elevator, it flew to the sky. You could hear your ears locked. That's how high it is. It is almost 1,500 feet high. And when we got up there, I looked down into the city, and something immediately jumped onto my face. I said, that's why Jesus Christ used to go to the mountains to pray, because it's beautiful up there. It's different. You see things differently. And I was there imagining, who is this architect who planned something like this? He is close to God. And the lady that was on tour guide, one of them, she was probably not doing anything. She stood and she saw me wandering. She could see me dazzling and lost. She said, young man, it's magnificent, right? I said, yes, ma'am. When I looked down into the city, I said, how long did it take for them to build this? She didn't actually give me an answer, which I remember. But she said, young man, you are seeing what you are seeing up here to down there. But guess what? The foundation is deep. You cannot start to imagine the concrete that was poured onto the foundation. And it came to me, yes, you're right. If such a building can stand on something, then the foundation must be solid. Let me tell you, Washington New School has given you a foundation that is bigger and thicker than that foundation of that Sears Tower. So you can build anything on your foundation. It will not get broken. Don't be a wandering generality where you build one house here, stop, go build another one somewhere. It will not make sense. Just always remember that whatever you want to build, you are going to build on the foundation that you have gotten here. That was the foundation. Now, let's go to the secret formula. Wherever you go, you want to acquire knowledge, right? And you want to be an A student, what do you want your score to be? About 96, right? Some schools will take 96 to be an A, right? You want to be a straight A, you don't want any B's, you don't even see 90. So knowledge, if you add it alphabetically, numerically, you say A equals to 1, B equals to 2, C equals to 3, D equals to 4, E equals to 5, all the way to number 26, Z, right? And then you say knowledge. You put it there, you see 96. The second one, hard work. You put it there, you get 98. What will give you 100? You hear people say attitude is everything. You put it, it will be 100%. If you have those three, You are a giant, right? Oh no. If you don't have the love of God, you are building on sand. So the fourth one is love of God, 101%. So I advise you, keep that 1% for the rainy days. Let's go into knowledge. The Washington New Church has prepared you well. The teachers have done an extraordinary job by giving you the assignments that you need to know, by letting you have some homework, by letting you interact on the playground, going to field trips, actually teaching you how to learn. I wish I had time to call them by name from first grade to 8th grade or 12th grade, that I know all of them. And you know, we are talking about discrimination in the United States. Discrimination is everywhere. Don't fall a victim. That is one of the best advice I can give you. Do not fall a victim. If they take all the black people in America out, there will still be some form of discrimination. I'm not saying that there's no discrimination, but do not misunderstand me. When I step my legs on this ground, I do not see white or black. I see God's children for 8 years. And if you can put that formula in your head, that I am a child of God and focus on the good, those bad things will not come your way easily. You might smell them, but you will be convinced by yourself that it's a bad smell. I am pretty sure that you are learning the difference between intelligence and wisdom. An intelligent person lectures, but a person with wisdom lectures and show an example. An intelligent person preaches, but a man of wisdom preaches and reaches out. I am looking at the clock and the time is moving and I have to move on too. Now we are already with a lot of knowledge. We can basically do everything and we can walk on our heels. But guess what? If you don't work hard, you will be an average person anywhere you go. So hard work is 98%. That means the extras that you do will classify where they will put you. You hear people say, oh, things cost too much. No, they don't cost too much. You can't afford them. If you want to afford them, you have to go on a higher rung on the ladder. That means you have to read a little bit more. You have to work a little bit more harder. I see the teachers here, they come in earlier and they go late. Even on Saturdays, you still see them here. Even during this time of COVID-19, they are still coming here. That is working harder. Moving on. Attitude. You must have heard this. Attitude is everything. What does it mean to you? Attitude is everything. The way you interact with people will help you to always go through a lot of things. Somebody says, hey, what are you doing? Say, mind your business. Merilyn, what? That is attitude, bad attitude. But guess what? You are young men and young ladies growing and you are going to step up into another area where the ropes that we pull every day will not be there for you. Have you ever heard the story of the spider and the frog? You will not say no to people like that, but you will be a diplomat all the time to say, I have another assignment. I'm not coming with you at this time. I have something that I have to accomplish. And the short story of the spider and the frog goes thus. One sunny day came a frog swimming to the other side of the river and met the spider. And the spider asked, Mr. Frog, could you carry me back to the other side? The frog said, no, I can't carry you to the other side. You will sting me and kill me in the middle of the river. The spider said to the frog, you and your froggy brains, how do I sting you when I don't know how to swim? I don't want to commit suicide. The frog, without a thought, said, okay, come on, hop on, and jump onto the back. The spider got into the middle of the river and stung the frog. And the frog is drowning with the spider. And the frog said, Mr. Spider, why did you do this to me? The spider was shouting, I am so sorry, I am so sorry, I am so sorry. but they were both drowning. So in principle, if your good friend wants to give you something that is not good, don't take it. Your best friend wants to give you something that is not good, don't take it, because if you drink poison in a glass, whether it was given to you by a good friend or by a friend, it will still kill you. So do not be at the wrong place at the wrong time as you grow up. I think you got me right? Do I need to say it again? I don't think so, you got it. Then the last, and I think the most important, is the 101. Love of God, 100%. Who is not willing to keep the extra percent in the rainy days? I think everybody would love to keep that 1%, right? So you see the great foundation. We started with the foundation. This is the roof, but you're not yet there. You will never finish the roof. The 101 is the roof. What you got here is the foundation, right? So keep building on that foundation. And then you have the roof, the 101, love of God. Whatever you do, if you don't introduce God into it, it's going to be shaky. It's going to be really shaky. And to tell you all, I have one little story to finish this talk. We shall think that a lot of things that happen around the world, bad things, is because people don't know. They don't know the right thing from the wrong thing. And God saw what was happening, just like it's happening now in America. Burning places because of racism, because of other things. God saw that and he was so anxious. And he said, no, I cannot see my children suffer like this. Whether it's black or white, what color, it doesn't matter. He said, I cannot see my children suffer like this. And one Sunday morning, he sent an angel to deliver the formula of happiness. And he put the instructions in an envelope, beautiful envelope. The angel got on the way and was still not very happy because he had not taken breakfast, and said, how is God going to make everybody happy? It doesn't work that way. But he said, he remembers that God is God and he knows what he's doing. And he thought, I think I should tie it on a kite and let it dangle so that people will see it, but they'll be lazy to move to it. He said, no, not a good idea. He said, I should tie it on a sandbag and throw it into the sea so that not a lot of people can find it. He said, not a good idea. He said, oh, a wonderful idea. I am going to deliver these measures at the heart of every human being alive. At the heart of every human being alive. And that is exactly what that angel did. He delivered that envelope at the heart of every one of us alive. A human heart is a human heart. So let's keep it warm and always tell yourself that you will do your best to pay your rent on earth by doing little things that are good. And remember, little things can be tough. Mosquitoes in Africa are tiny. Many of you may not have seen it. They are very tiny. But guess what? As much as it is tiny, it can keep you awake at night. It will make unnecessary noise in your ears. It will bite you and give you disease. Even elephants that are mighty, I have never heard that an elephant got somebody bitten. So, graduating students, both the 12th grade and the 8th graders, I wish you well and put blinders on and focus on yourself, making sure that those around you, you keep them happy. Congratulations, one more.
Thank you very much. There's so much to be said. I appreciate that this is hopefully a recorded talk so that we have it to look at on YouTube later. So we can look back over these Mr. Morphaw secrets. You can look at them this evening or in 5 years, 20 years, go back to the secrets. I have to admit, I had a lot of disappointment in thinking about a streamed service without people in the room and all the limits that are involved there. And I started to get, Mr. Fraser was helping me put it together, and I started to think, I think we can do this. And then Mrs. Sprinkle mentioned that her daughter's graduation at college had Alicia Keys performing. And then I was like, never mind. We don't have Alicia Keys coming here. But now I feel like we had Mr. Morfaw come, and it was just as great. So I'm very grateful. It's funny that as much as your experiences are completely different than mine, in different countries, and describing what you grew up with in terms of coming here and getting an education with parents who had lived into writing and reading, and yet you started out with the same story told all over the world, that when you were young, you always walked to school 5 miles this way and 5 miles. It's the same story they tell in the U.S. It's not true for most of us, but we all tell it. So some things are shared culture. I like a lot of those secrets that you had to share. One of the ones that I've appreciated most learning from your model over the years is the attitude thing. Attitude is a harder area for me, to keep a positive attitude. So I really have taken a lot of inspiration with you have high standards. You want people to strive. You want things to be good, but you always go after that with overwhelming positivity. And so you didn't mention that secret, but the overwhelming positivity in the people you're dealing with, the things you're going after, it can get a lot done. It can inspire people. And finally, the idea of it adds up to 101, love of God, when you add up the number. Did you actually do the math?
I did it many times to make sure I was right.
Okay, 101 is love of God, and that's the highest thing. I really like how you paired the two parts of that's the roof of the house. That's the pinnacle, and it's never finished. It's always something we're working towards. So that's one important point, but also the fact that it's there for a rainy day. It's also there when we don't see the whole picture, and we can hang on to it. So those are things that I will take with me, and I hope you guys will take with you over the years. So thank you again very much. So then I just have 2 comments that I must make before turning over to the slideshow. And that is to thank the teachers and thank the parents. And, the teachers in particular this year, obviously, they some of their plans and lesson plans and so forth, they've been developing over years. And all of that was just turned upside down. And so they've really had to scramble to keep providing an education from a distance. And then the same to the parents. Parenting is a challenging job in the best of times. And so I hope tonight or sometime the next week you go home and give your parents a thank you for helping you all these years through school, but especially this last several months, not just the parents of the graduates, but the type of work you put in as parents to support your children, that's really what it's at. That's the good work right there. So thank you. So we'll now turn over to a slideshow that hopefully will stream properly, and we're going to also see if we can get it on the screen in the room. And that is the end of the
You are now at an age where you are now the world's leading expert on how everyone is wrong about everything. And you can look really smart by pointing that out, but just a heads up, after that, people might ask you what you're right about, and suddenly things get really hard again. So read Voltaire. That's all.
Voltaire?
Yeah. That'll cover him for the looking like he's smart himself, because he'll know good, smart things that at least sound smart to people. It'll work for now. When he's older, maybe he'll have to figure out something more complicated. Well, this is generally the place where I would give that sort of advice for going into like high school and such, but I was homeschooled for all of high school, so yeah. Good luck with that.
When working on something very exhausting or upsetting, it helps to like after like every 20, 30, maybe even 15, whatever is working for you, minutes, just like go into a different room and just like do nothing and just like decompress for a little bit to give your brain a break.
James, there are a lot of things that I could say, but I'll just say this for now. You are capable of more than you realize. I've been watching you your whole life, and this is something I know about you, that you have resources available to you deep down inside that sometimes you're not aware of. And when things get hard, I want you to remember me saying this and to keep pushing forward, and you will surprise yourself at what you accomplish.
James, you have a great ability to focus in on a task and get it done when you choose to, and I think you will go very far in high school if you continue to practice those skills. I'm proud of you for graduating from 8th grade, and I know you're gonna do great in high school. Good job getting through high school. Not high school, man, I can't talk. But like, hey dude, good job. It's hard growing up, but you've made it through another milestone.
Once again, I've been told that you've been going to school, and I hear that's hard, but you did it, so congrats. Congrats, James.
Congratulations, James.
Ariela, quiero decirte que estoy de veras muy orgulloso de ti por ese buen trabajo que has hecho cruzar este difícil año, pero lo pasaste. Quiero decirte muchas felicidades, mi hija, y para adelante.
I'm so proud to have a daughter like you, who is brave, strong, kind, and inspiring, who always stands up for others and keeps going no matter how hard it gets. I love you, Rella.
Hey, Ariela. Congratulations on your graduation. We hope that you have a really fun time at ANC, and you worked really hard for this step, so congratulations.
Congrats, Rella. I'm very happy for you. You'll do great things in high school and in Bernathen. There'll be sad moments and happy moments, but you're gonna get through it because you have us.
Ariela, thank you for being such a great big sister. I hope you have a great time at ANC. Congratulations on your graduation, and I love you so much.
Congratulations, Ariela. I know you could do it. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for always being there for me. Love you.
My dear Ariela, I love your smile. I love your creativity. And I especially love your courage. But never forget, we love you.
Congratulations to all the graduates of 2020, but special congratulations to our Sophie. We love you and we're proud of you.
Sophie, we're so proud of you. You've done so well. And we're looking forward to your growing experience in high school. We love you.
Happy graduation!
Sophie, and to your classmates, we're proud of you all for doing a great job. Sure you'll kill it in high school and have a great summer.
Happy graduation!
Congratulations, Soph. We're so excited for you.
We're so happy for you. You're the best.
Happy graduation, Sophie! Yeah! Congratulations. We are so, so proud of you and the person you are, and we cannot wait to see where you go from here. Love you.
Congrats to everyone.
Congratulations, class of 2020. The Morphoff family wants to wish you a happy congratulations for your graduation and your promotion. I know it's a very big time in your life, moving to a new chapter in your life, and we just want to wish you guys the best in all your endeavors.
This year started like most optimistically.
However, ended extremely unpredictable.
That's how high school is. Uncertain.
And rewarding at the same time.
As you are tapping into the core of who you're going
to be during these teenage years.
I encourage you.
All to continue being your
awesome selves. Learn lots.
Laugh often. Have fun.
But more importantly, continue.
Be your individual self.
Don't be afraid of greatness.
Class of 2020, we celebrate you. Congratulations.
Malik, we love you and are proud of you.
Congrats to the class of 2020. Despite this year being a very tough and challenging year, you guys have overcome every obstacle we held high. Now that's the spirit of a winner. We are proud of you all because you have come a very long way. We firmly believe that this is just one accomplishment among the many more to come. Keep heading for the stars. We love you guys and keep making us proud.
First of all, make friends, because, like, it can be hard sometimes coming from one introvert to another, but when you're not surrounded by your family constantly, it could get a little lonely. But if you want a little more lighthearted advice, also, when you're in a class that requires you to do research for, like, papers and stuff, don't pick the topic you want to do. Just pick the topic that looks like it will definitely have a lot of easy, credible sources. As you get to be close to being an adult, suddenly you sort of have to discard a system I sort of think we all have our whole lives, where you can sort of group people into other kids, if you will, and the adults. So maybe it was just me, but around high school, there was still that sort of gap of, like, these people who are, like, above 20 years old are sort of a separate group that I don't need to interact with unless I need something from them. But I've found that I think one of the most valuable things you can do as you get to be, well, getting towards 20, is to start, like, building meaningful connections with older people, and just getting to know them better, just because both they can be valuable friends and just really useful people to have in contact with. Because they can be a lot of help.
Well, you know, there's just one thing I gotta say, and that
thing is, you gotta go there, do the thing, meet people, and then just have a good time.
Wise words. Okay.
Next year, I want you to have a lot of fun when you go away to college. Work not quite so hard and just enjoy yourself, and you'll do great anyway.
Siobhan, my one piece of advice for you, especially thinking in terms of you going away to college next year, is to push yourself a little bit, to step outside of your comfort zone and to do things that might feel awkward or dumb to see what happens. Take some social risks. I think that you will be delighted at the results.
Yeah, congrats. You can go now, and I hope to see you when you've upstaged me once again. I have no clue.
You did it? I think. That's what they told me. I haven't been paying attention.
Siobhan, I'm really proud of you. You worked really hard to get through high school, and congratulations on graduation.
Congratulations, Siobhan, on graduating from high school, but even more, congratulations on being on the cusp of the next phase of your life. You're transitioning out of childhood and into that first step of adulthood, and I am just so excited and proud of the woman I see you turning into, and I look forward to seeing what comes next.
I love you.
The Lord upon you send His blessing, wisdom with your years increase. Make His face to shine upon you and forever give you peace.
Perfect.